Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 29. The chapter is titled The Opulence of the Absolute. Can everybody see my screen and hear me all right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anantaschasmi naganam varuna yadasan aham pitranam chasmi yama samyamatam aham anantascha asmi naganam varuno yadasam aham pitranam chasmi yama samyamatam aham Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitranam chasmi yama samyamatam aham. Anybody else would like to chant?
Anyasma chasmi naganam varuno yadasmi aham pitranam aryamasmi yama samyamatama aham.
Anybody else?
Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitranam chasmi yamaha samyamatam aham.
Anantaschasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrunam aryama chasmi yamah samyamatamaham.
Word by word. Ananta, cha also. Asmi, I am, Naganam, of the many hooded serpents. Varuna, the demigod controlling the water. Jadasam, of all aquatics. Aham, I am. Pitranam, of their ancestors. Aryama, Cha also, Asmi, I am. Yamaha, the controller of death. Samyamatam, of all regulators. Aham, I am. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Please repeat. Of the many hooded Nagas,
Of
Many
the many hooded nagas,
I am Ananta.
I am the Ananta.
And among the aquatics,
And among the aquatics,
I am the demigod Varuna.
I am the demigod Varuna.
Of departed ancestors,
Of departed ancestors,
I am Aryama.
I am
Aryama.
And among the dispensers of law,
And among the dispensers of the law,
I am Yama,
I am Yama,
the Lord of Death.
the Lord of Death.
Lord of the Death.
Purport. Among the many hooded Naga serpents, Ananta is the greatest, as is the demigod Varuna among the aquatics. They both represent Krishna. There is also a planet of Pita's ancestors presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants, and among them, Yama is the chief. Yama is situated in a planet near this earthly planet. After death, those who are very sinful are taken there, and Yama arranges different kinds of punishments for them. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshulmitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swamrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shigro Sijita Padakamalam Shigurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarajata Sagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pradhan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Anantaschasmi Naganam Varuno Yadasam Aham Pitranam Aryamachasmi Yama Samyamatam Aham. Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta, and among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. So here Lord Krishna continues narrating some of his opulences as we see in this section of Bhagavad Gita, the opulence of the Absolute, of Vibhuti Yoga, almost from verse 19 to 20 to 31, is describing various of his opulences. And in this verse, is mentioning about 4 of his opulences that are of Nagas, many hooded Nagas. I am Ananta. So there is the Nagaloka, right, which is comes lower than the Bhumi, Bhuloka. In there are all these Nagas, the many-hooded serpents, they reside there. And it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that in that Nagaloka, there's not much sunlight. Right? There's not much sunlight in that Nagaloka because the diamond which these Nagas have on the hood, that itself is shining and it illuminates the entire Nagaloka. So of that many-hooded serpents, Ananta is mentioned to have 1,000 hoods, and on whose the bed of Ananta lies Lord Vishnu. We see Garbhadaksha Vishnu lying on the bed of Ananta with 1,000 heads. Right. And what is Ananta doing? With his 1,000 heads, he is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Ananta is considered the greatest of these Nagas. And that's why it's a representation of Lord Krishna. That among the Nagas, I am Ananta. Then we see among the Varuna, among the aquatics, I am the Varuna. The presiding deity of water, right, of the aquatics, right, is, can somebody mute? Yeah. Okay, thank you. The presiding deities, the presiding deity of the mainly water is Varun Dev, right, of the aquatic. So we see when Bhima, right, was after being fed this poison cake by Duryodhana and associates, he was put in the ocean. The carriers of Varun Dev, right, was protecting him. And then ultimately he goes to this Nagaloka where all the poison is sucked off. Right. So there's an explanation of that in Mahabharata of these lokas. So among aquatics, I am Varuna, the representation of Lord Krishna. Then of departed ancestors, I am Arema. So we have the ancestor loka or Pitru loka, right? In Pitru loka, we have this Pitru Paksha, during the Shraddha period, in the Pitru Paksha, we offer, various kinds of Vishnu Mahaprasad to the ancestors, right? So Aryama is the chief. He is presiding over the demigod Aryama. He is presiding over this Pitruloka. So who is Aryama? He is one of the 12 Adityas, right? The son of Kashyapa and Aditi are Adityas. And there are 12 chief Adityas. And of that, Aryama is one of them. It is mentioned that Aryama also took the post of Yama for 100 years. When Yamraj was cursed, right? When Yamraj was cursed and he became Vidura, the son of a maidservant, and very advanced associate of the Lord. We see in Vidura being the chief minister of Dhritarashtra, chief advisor of Dhritarashtra, and also his Anuj, younger brother, right? So that's Vidura. So Yamraj becomes Vidura because he was cursed by Manduka Muni. We have this pastime of Manduka Muni, where the sage Manduka, his name was Manduka Muni, quite ascetic, and at one time, when he was performing tapasya, dacoits went into his hermitage, and when the guards came, the dacoits ran away. So they thought Manduka Muni as the accomplice of the dacoits. So they captured Manduka Muni, and he was to be punished by the king. And the king was about to punish him, and suddenly, they realized, no, he's a great saint. He's not the accomplice. So they realized a mistake. But he was humiliated in this entire ordeal. So he kind of called out to Yamraj that from my childhood to now, I have not committed a single sin. That how come I have to go through this humiliation? Right. There was Manduka Muni. How come I had to go through this humiliation? So Yamraj mentioned that when you were a child, you are passing a thread through the eye of a lance. Lance is one insect. Right? You are passing a thread to the eye of a lance. And because of that sin, you went through this humiliation. See, we can see that any sin does not go unnoticed in the eye of the Lord. Any action which we perform, we have to go get a reaction. Initially, the action which we perform it may be manifested as aprarabdha, unmanifested reaction. But when the reactions manifest, it can manifest either in this lifetime or it can manifest in next lifetime, in the cycle of karma. So, Yamraj, Manduka Muni cursed Yamraj. That just as a child, if he performs something like that, he performs it in innocence. So you are punishing me for that. So he cursed Yamraj that you will take birth as a son of a maidservant. And we see him come down as Vidura. So for that 100 years, Yamaloka, because Yamraj was cursed, he was down, Aryama, the representative of Pitruloka, was also maintaining the ministry of law as Yamraj. So that's Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. And we just heard about Yamraj. Dispensers of law, Yama. Yamraj, who comes as Vidura, was so advanced devotee. And in fact, Yamraj itself is given this difficult task of the dispensers of law. And he has a secretary. Many times we hear about his secretary, Chitragupta, who maintains a scroll of all each and everybody's sins. Right. And when we see Jagai and Madhai, who were delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Yamraj was asked them about Jagai and Madhai, they said, oh, the scroll is unlimited. Now, my scroll will go out of paper. The amount of sins which I count which they committed. And they were delivered by Mahaprabhu, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu was about to sever their head, especially of Madhai, because he hit Lord Nityananda with the earthen pot. Right. But Lord Nityananda is pleading to Mahaprabhu that if you will kill them, you will have to kill entire humanity. Because everybody in this age are like Jagai and Madhai. Everybody in this age are like Jagai and Madhai. Debauchees, drunkards, womenizers. Right. If you tell a materialist in the current day and age about, oh, they're drunkards, oh, what's wrong? Oh, if you don't drink an alcohol, they'll consider you that, oh, you have come from some other planet. Right. Yeah, the debauchees. Yeah. So that's Yama. And there are many living entities, similarly, who maintain the law. Just like we are the law minister of a country, or a law minister of a town, Sarpanch, law minister, right? So there are many law ministers, but of all the law ministers, Yama is the main. And he is a representative of Lord Krishna. So that's why Lord Krishna says that of all the lawmakers, I am Yama. Right. So that's again is one of the opulences. Okay. Are there any discussions on this verse? Haribol. No discussions? These verses are going to be short because it's like a whole section from 20 to 32, the whole section of all these various opulences. But then you can go to figure out the history of Nagaloka and Aryama and different. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances for Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Thanks for the class, Prabhu. A couple of questions related on topic, and then I don't know if somebody else has a question, we can take his or her question. If not, then there is an Krishna conscious related question, not specific to today's class. So, Prabhu, you mentioned, we have this pastime of Mandaka Muni. Any information whether he was a jnani or what path of a tapasya was he doing? Why I'm trying to understand it is because a bhakta, someone who's doing bhakti yoga, is extremely humble. That's one of the qualifications. and whether he's honored or whether he's dishonored or humiliated, he doesn't care. But other path of yoga, still there is that tinge of ego which remains. So since Mandaka Muni felt offended कि मेरा बेइज्जती क्या, so do we know, was he a bhakta? In which case, if he was on path of bhakti yoga, how did he have this thing of I've been insulted and cursed at Lord Yama?
Good question. Tinadapi suni chena tarorapi saistana manina manadena kirtanya sada hari. Mahaprabhu mentions Tinadapi suni chena. More humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. Right? Always offering respect without expecting honor. So that's the mood of a devotee. So Manduka Muni does not fit into that category of pure devotees of the Lord. At the same time, is a great ascetic. Right? Great ascetic. So when they're great ascetic, they're also big time tapasvis. Right? Big time tapasvis. So they could, there will be also just like Vishwamitra Muni, big time ascetic in one sense, tapasvi. So much so that he comes to Dasharatha Maharaj and Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman, they go to help him. Right? But he's ascetic in one sense. He's not a bhakti yogi, where his tapasya, when he's doing tapasya, and he hears the ankle bells of Apsara, Menka, he gets attracted. Like we see Haridas Thakur, when he's chanting the 192 rounds of the holy name, Maya Devi herself comes to allure Haridas Thakur. And he is not agitated. But that's the strength of a bhakti yogi. Right? That's the strength of bhakti yogi. While Vishwamitra Muni, so we have these different gradations. Right. But at the same time, as an ascetic sage, he's quite famous. And they have their power also. Like Durvasa Muni, we hear about Durvasa Muni. Right. He is known for his anger. But at the same time, he's a powerful sage. He takes part in pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, is there in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Yeah, they are quite ascetic sage. Does that answer your question, Amitabh Prabhu? They're not, they're not quote unquote on the path of pure bhakti.
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhu. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I also have a question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Like, I do see that when the person is innocent, like is a child, and he does a mistake, so it is not considered, like according to Shastra, it would not be considered, an offense. But like even as adult, like sometimes, like when we are doing the house cleaning, we are cleaning the spiders, or sometimes the ants do get killed, or sometimes mosquitoes are there and flies are there, and like even though however clean we try to keep it, and sometimes the mice come into the home, so you have no other choice, you have to kill them. So what does Shastra recommend we should do in this situation?
Wonderful question pertaining to this thing. So, there's a quick anecdote. Years back, I used to stay in Jersey City. And at one time, I had big infestation of roaches. Jersey City old houses, the infestation of roaches. And I asked similar question to my Guru Maharaj. It's infested. Oh, today we are going to have a roach bomb to take care of the roaches. And my Guru Maharaj mentioned that we should kill ourselves. Right. If we cannot keep the place clean, roaches will come. Right. So, on the pure bhakti platform, any kinds of killing is not recommended. On the pure bhakti platform. Now, we may not be there on the pure bhakti platform, just like we see one of the associate of Mahaprabhu, he had leprosy and the worms were falling down, and then he was taking the worms and keeping it back in his wound. Right? So compassionate even for the worms which are falling down. So this pastime tells us that ignorance is not an excuse for law of Manduka Muni. Yes, we may have done a lot more than that. He is just passing a thread in one insect. At times when we go to our wash basin and we see ants or this or that, we just open up the tap and flush it out. I don't know about you, but I have done that many times. Or you mentioned about the spider, killing a spider, or pest control, or this, that. At the temple, we use pest control. But at the end of the day, at the temple, we have to use the pest control because at the end of we cannot keep the things clean all the time. It's our drawback. Right? It is our drawback also. And we have to accept that. It's our drawback. So all these things are there to guide us on the topmost path. Just like we were talking about Raghunath Das Goswami, topmost path. He was every alternate day he was eating one drop buttermilk drink on a tulsi leaf. Quite advanced platform. So similarly, this is a quite normal. One of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada was serving Prabhupada prasad, and ants were crawling, and he was kind of shooing them off the plate. Prabhupada mentioned, let them play. Right? He didn't immediately what we from our instinct, shoot, or mosquito comes on our body. Blood. Okay. But over a period of time, we see in devotional service, we are trained that, okay, we see an insect, we take it and put it outside the house. Not keep, before joining devotional service, we would keep that net, right? We see a fly, kill it. But after joining the sadhakas, joining the school of devotional service, at least we learn that, okay, why unnecessarily kill? It's crawling and we don't like it. We take it, put it outside. Is that all right, Sankarshan Babu?
But what do we do with the mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes.
the
Put it outside.
fruit flies. There's so many of those.
I know it's not the easiest thing, or use. Just like I remember in Mayapur, Siddha Mayapur, especially when you go during Gaur Purnima time, because Mayapur around it's like more like a swamp area, so there's so many mosquitoes. You cannot even stand when you go for Gaur Aarti outside if you're not applying all the odomos and whatnot. So most of the rooms, they will have this, that electric, right? That what we call good night. Right. The devotees would, no, sir, Prabhupada would train, mosquito, there is that special kind of, what is it called? Whether when the Muslims do that, they light something where, with the mm, smoke of that, they kind of, take it around the entire house to get, so the mosquitoes do not come. Because that good night also repels electric current, which kind of, kills them miserably. So, we take shelter of good night, but even present day, our Guru Maharaj and others, they use that, what Prabhupada taught them about this flame, where they will get their entire room, sanitized, but they won't necessarily, or they will use the mosquito nets. If you go to Srila Prabhupada's room or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's room in Mayapur or Bhakti Vinod Thakur's room, you will see on their bed mosquito nets. Or we see Sanatan Goswami, he has a bhajan kutir in Govardhan, and he had taken a vow that every day he will do parikrama of Govardhan, even in his older age, even in his old age. And one time, because it was right in the bank of Manasaganga, so again, a lot of mosquitoes. So he said, oh, no, I'll have to move away from this area instead of doing my bhajan here. Right? Because unknowingly I might kill. Right? And in dream, next day, Lord Shiva is requesting him not to leave. As Chakleshwar Mahadev, which is very next to the Bhajan Kutir of Sanatan Goswami. Requesting him not to leave. And then Lord Shiva, who is the controller of all these insects, repellents, and all tournaments, he called all the insects, the chief of the insects, to not allow any insect in that area to bother Sanatana Goswami. So even now, you will see if you go to Mansiganga, everywhere else you might see insect, but if you go to the Bhajan Kuti of Sanatana Goswami, you will not see a mosquito there. That was arranged by Lord Shiva.
That is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami.
Also,
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. When he was writing Chaitanya Charitamrita at that time, a lot of mosquitoes. So he was telling that I cannot write, I am going.
Yeah.
other places.
So, yeah, other places, yeah.
Yeah. And like, we also see the pastime of Mrigari the hunter. Right? In Mrigari the hunter's case, after he was transformed by Narad Muni, after a year when Narad Muni and Parvata Muni comes to visit Mrigali the hunter, he runs towards them, but then he is kind of hopping, hopping, and no, so the sages could not understand why he's doing like that. And then they asked him, and he said, "Oh no, there are ants crawling, and I don't want to step on them." So no, these are no pastimes where the transformation of meeting a advanced sage takes place. Valia to Valmiki transformation.
Prabhu, if you remember when in that old bridge we were planning to build the temple, we had gone to one lawyer's office,
Brown.
white gentleman. Huh? And then he gave us a pastime of Hare Krishna's, one of Prabhupada's disciple.
Yes.
They were all white ants which had eaten into the wood.
Yep.
So he says, no, don't kill it. And he actually requested the ants that, please leave this house. And he saw a whole trail of ants leaving the house and going outside without any pest control or anything.
Yeah.
And he says, I was so amazed. In his office, he was telling us, yes, I know Hare Krishna's.
That's
I forget that devotee's name. Some Prabhupada disciple. And when he would go out in the garden to chant, birds would come and sit on him, small birds.
Yeah.
And
These are Dheera Govinda or some. These are something like starting with D.
Yeah, you remember you and I had gone to his office on
Yeah,
Route 18.
Brown. No, that was Jonathan Hal Brown.
Yeah, so that Prabhu said that I know Hare Krishnas and this is the power of your devotion.
Yeah.
That he actually saw, he witnessed it,
Yeah,
someone told him. He actually saw white ants leave the house.
Leave the place. And he's amazed. No, means he cannot explain it.
Explain it, yeah.
Yeah. So these are there where when the devotees are with firm conviction, all these things will happen. Bhakti Charu Maharaj at one time was mentioning to me, when I was traveling with him in the car, and there was this big thing about this poison theory going on. That Prabhupada was poisoned, this, that. And they were blaming Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, I used to be his roommate. He would hardly kill even an insect. And they're kind of accusing him. Yeah. They hardly kill an insect. Yeah. So that is living sages which we see around us. Guru Maharaj also, if something is crawling, it's not. Let it play. They're not harming me. Yeah. Is that okay, Sankarshan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. But sometimes I feel that I will not be able to reach that level. So sometimes I have to kill them, or sometimes I do try not to, but sometimes I have no choice.
Yeah, so I'm also in similar boat. Don't worry about it. But at the same time, but at the same time, we should understand that that's not the goal. That's not.
Yeah, that's not
our limitation. We should understand that that's our limitation.
Our limitation, right? Yes, I agree with you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice answer, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all good Srila Prabhupada. Who is the Jamaraj in Chaitanya Lila? I could not find it out actually.
Yamraj in Chaitanya Lila.
Yamraj didn't Chaitanya Leela, no Jamras. Haribol, everybody
Very
going.
well. No, Yamraj in Chaitanya.
Yeah, everybody going back. Golok Bindavan. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Golokara Premodana Harinam Sankirtanam. That's it.
Very well. My goodness. Very well. Taji. Yes. It does not strike me. I know Dharmaraj, like Yudhishthira Maharaj,
Yeah.
the 5 Pandavas appeared in Chaitanya Leela.
Yeah.
Ramananda Roy is one of them.
Yeah.
As Arjuna.
Arjuna. Yeah.
His brothers and father was Pandu. They were in Gaulila. Bhishma Pitamaha and Lord Brahma appeared in the body of Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur.
Bhakti
Yeah. So similarly, do that research. I'm sure Jamraj.
Chaitanya Chaitamrita doesn't have.
Chaitanya won't have, but Gaur Ganesha Deepika would have.
Gaur Ganesh
Deepika.
Yeah.
What is this name? The Puri, who took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's finger in the mouth. He found it. What's his name?
Vrindavan Thakur.
He wrote the book.
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
No. Tapan Mishra San, I think. Tapan Mishra San. Kobi Karnapur. Wrote the book. He wrote all the who was that Dwarka Leela and who came here. That book is written everything.
Kavi Karnapur also wrote the Gaur Ganesha Deepika was written by Kavi Karnapur.
Yeah.
Hari, thank you very much, Tata Prabhu and Sukumani Mataji. Any other question?
No, Prabhu, I don't know. I'm joking. Because I thought no Jamras. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us Golak Vrindavan. And Prabhupada came us to take there. That's it.
Okay, let me see. Let me ask Dr. Google. Yamraj in Gaulila. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Satyava Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yeah. Dhanvat Pranam to you.
Early morning in India.
Prabhuji, the topic is about mosquito, and one mosquito could not make me sleep. All night I was awake and chanting. Because of mosquito, I could chant more. Actually.
See, now you know whom to call out.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of having mosquitoes.
And the topic was also about mosquitoes, mice. So just wanted to share one like experience, Prabhuji. I was in Mumbai that time. My maid told me when we get the mice in our house, she said Chaturthi comes, that time we can make modak. And if you put one modak for like for mice, and if you just pray for them and they say just leave our house, and it works, Prabhuji. And in our temple, I talked to Jaiprakash Prabhuji. Jaiprakash Prabhuji said, okay, why don't you apply to our temple also? And I did 3-4 times. I don't know it worked, but we don't get mice now. So we have a lot of remedies.
Well, we don't get mice because now we have better pest controller.
Yeah, pest controller maybe. But in my house, it was working, Prabhuji, because I was having a lot of mice in my Mumbai apartment. And here also in San Diego, so it was working. And for these mosquitoes also, if we put that neem leaves and if we make the smoke of that, they just leave the house. So we are not killing them, So we have a lot of remedies if we want to apply. Just wanted to share that.
Good. So that's what they have, Jayapataka Maharaj in Mayapur. Instructions to all the devotees there, the brahmacharis, to eat neem leaves.
Yeah.
So that the body has so much of bitterness in the blood that if the mosquito bites, it will not bite again. This is so bitter.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the brahmacharis that they eat this neem. It's quite bitter.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Nice to hear from everyone and very nice discussion. Long time. I was missing our association.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm thinking, Prabhu, we should all purify ourselves to that level of that Prabhu who requested those ants to leave the house.
Yeah.
And if we come to that level, I'm thinking we should start a pest control service, humane pest control service. People will just straight away take to Krishna consciousness if they can actually witness rather than.
Maybe we have to start doing 24-hour Kirtan, Amritanand Prabhu.
Kirtan also is great. But when someone witnesses, someone witnesses a personal problem leaving because someone came in and said, please leave.
So seeing in believing is not the highest form.
No, it is not for us. We understand. But what about the public, Prabhu?
So
So many
Jonathan
times you're doing
Heilbronn,
Kirtan, they say these are mad fellows over here.
No, just as you know, that Jonathan Heilbronn saw that, so he can appreciate it, but he has not become a devotee.
No, he was not. It wasn't his house. Anyway, just making it light. But good mosquito lila.
Yeah, mosquito lila. I'm still searching in our Datta Prabhu's question about this Yamraj. This entire Gaudiya history is ISKCONDesiratory.com, who appears as what. This entire thing is given, but I don't see Yamraj here.
Haribol! Haribol! I told you no Jamras this time. Not listening me.
Okay. So everybody
Prabhu, I
had
have
a
one
nice
question.
God Punim festival in India, in Oklahoma, in
We did, Prabhu. Not Oklahoma. You did very nice Gaur Purnima. I cooked so much. Then I'm thinking for you and Maharaj, because Maharaj liked the Shukta Mishti Dahi, and I feel so bad. And
so what happened? You didn't send it?
Mentally.
Oh, mentally, okay, I see.
But Zoom.
Zoom.
I don't like Zoom.
Janki Mata has a question, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, I'm sorry I joined late, and so I may have missed a lot of fun facts, probably. My question was based on the event yesterday, and I might have no idea because I was busy here and there for some service or other. So question was, did we end up having Gaur Katha at all?
Did we end up having Gaur Katha at the hall? Okay.
Not at the hall.
Part of the announcement.
Not at the hall, just in the event, of course, yesterday. Did we have Gaur Katha yesterday?
And that's what I'm mentioning. As part of the announcement, some Gaur Katha was done for 5 minutes or something, because on a weekday when we have an event, we had Gaur Katha in the morning, but in the evening program, Gaur Katha we had as part of the announcements, and then we had the Shiksha program and followed by Abhishek. On a big day with Gaur Aarti and packed schedule, we are not able to keep Gaur Katha for festival days because of keeping Abhishek.
So then, do we have a extended program, Prabhu, on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
So
And
extension to that is Gaur Katha and also the drama. Is that right?
Yes. And also Gaur Katha we have been doing every Sunday morning for last 4 weeks.
Mhm.
So this Sunday morning also, Mukunda Datta Prabhu is going to speak on the pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu from Antyalila.
Mhm.
But
Thank
in
you
the
so much.
center, in the evening, we will have Gaur Katha. Don't know what, Govinda Nandani Mataji also touched some Gaur Katha in her class last Sunday, and Sunday before also the pastimes on Gaur Katha.
Mhm.
But good thing. We didn't have. We had little bit of. I was in the announcement. I was mentioning with Mahaprabhu
Mhm.
general discussion, but not elaborate Gaur Katha.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Savita has also raised her hand. I don't know if there is time. Simeshwar Prabhu.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Quick question was about the line in the verse which says that living entities, I'm paraphrasing, punish the miscreants, and of them chief is Lord Yama. So the reason why they are mentioned as living entities is because they will all, everything will get perished at the end. Is that the reason?
No, Thomas. Well, there are various, I was mentioning that there are various living entities who are in role of giving punishment, just like a cop. He also gives punishment in the form of a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a representative of the law department, right?
Correct.
Yeah, is representative of the law department, from him to the prosecutor to the judge. There are local representatives. So of all them, of all of those law representatives, the chief is Yamraj.
Right, but those living entities are very different from the jiva, like from us.
Well, living entities, that law abater is there in each and every other living entity also. Just like in a very organized beehive, right? There are responsibilities of various bees to do different things. Somebody is maintaining the defense part. Somebody are the aggressors on the front line, which attack. Somebody has to, collect, and they bring all the pollen and
The workers, right?
Yeah. So all those organized thing is there in other living entities also. No, that's how I will understand that.
Okay.
Unless somebody else has another. Among the dispensers of law, I am Yama. Yama is situated in a planet near the earth. After that, those who are. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants. Yeah. So no means could be human beings also. So human beings also have give punishment to the miscreants. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful. Good discussion. Any other? Amritambu, you had a question? Krishna conscious question?
If time permits, Prabhu.
Yeah, we have.
I think he does 8:30. Simeshwar Prabhu's next program starts.
But Simeshwar Prabhu is tired, so he's probably sleeping right now. So no, you can.
No. He multitasks, Prabhu. Prabhu is like Sadbhuj, I call him in my mind.
Yeah,
He does so many things.
I didn't get a
Hare
call.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam or Gosha Srila
Oh my
Prabhupada.
goodness, sorry,
He's
really.
awake.
Now he's completely awake.
Actually, now Bhakti Rusha is actually happening at the homes. So we have Zoom line open for unlimited time, infinite. So
Yeah,
Lord.
really. Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu.
Simeshwar
Okay,
Prabhu ki
Amritam
jai.
Prabhu. Go ahead.
Prabhu,
Hare Krishna.
what I'm thinking is more on a practical application of a Krishna consciousness. Now, we have bought into the philosophy, correct?
Yeah.
We understand the importance, the philosophy, and different people are at different levels. Doesn't matter years of experience, but
Yeah.
level of surrender, we all are different. But that basic common thread is, you can say we accept Krishna as the supreme personality, Prabhupada's teachings, whatever be our case, doubts may be there, this, that. But we have a commonality. So when things need to be done, we all do it to our individual capacity of surrender and whatever we may have. So
Yeah.
whether it is seva. So yesterday when I was seeing, and even the night before, all the devotees, how everyone was collectively like a teamwork, getting together to put for Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pleasure. Whatever.
Yeah.
That whole event, there are so many things done beforehand only. So like cooking Jai Prakash Prabhu and team, and then setting up Simeshwar Prabhu in the night was doing all that, and with the team, Bhakti Ratna, so many are there. So what I am thinking now, Prabhu, that in our congregation, 100 maybe full regular, whom I'll call the common thread. People come and visit, well-wishers and all, but these core, about 100 odd. So last night when you and I were discussing in dinner, you said, these are our plans, this is what. So I was thinking, how can we be doing this? So I was thinking one is our own core group, how we can all carry the workload which is there. And then not only that, how with the outside community also. And it's not that we want to influence them only because we need their Lakshmi or we need their expertise or we need something like that. So one was, and I was not getting any ideas or any path. How is it that we could influence ourselves to go above and beyond what we're already doing? Each one individually, starting with me. And second is people who are on the periphery, well-wishers or jo bhi koi ho, whatever. Um, Rather than just being tactical and reaching them, Janmashtami is coming up and Kalash Abhishek or something, or we did that Anuj Jalota show long ago, something like that. So without pushing and without anyone getting uh, offended, and I don't know, not offended, but without being pushy, but still that urgency, how to bring about that is what I was thinking. So I thought maybe here there are 10, 12 people whom, come every day. So if people had ideas, I thought that way we can, rather than keep it for last minute and then everyone is running. So I know we have, money-wise, we have $2 million budget. Now, 2 million looks like a big mountain. But, and it's not just 2 million, Prabhu. There are so many other things that we can look at it. Jai Prakash Prabhu was talking before the class started. We had joined early. So he was asking, give me feedback about the prasadam. So and I really appreciated what he said. Of course, prasadam is good, whether it is we like the taste or not, it's always good. But from making it, he says no, from improving it so that he can do better service to deities and the. So from there, I was thinking, urgency without being pushy.
Yeah. So very good. Amritanto. So now we have been thinking about this. Let me just mention some history. For a year or 2 years back, it came that there is this need over the years. We have to get those needs. Look at those needs in our expansion. And we got some concept plans done by Kishore Joshi. So some concept plans are there of how it would look. Is that. But then, see, whenever, just like when you have a house, right, the urgency does not come. Your urgency comes when you don't have a house. When you already have a house, to do some other renovation, oh yeah, it will be done, it will be done. It gets pushed back. And as part of my project, which you know about the SSPT thing, we're looking at different things, and then we said, yes, this also will work on, but let's work first of all on boiling the milk. Right, the milk is getting diluted. So let's work on boiling the milk. So that's where the main focus comes on training and development, putting relatively some things in place is Vishnu Sadachar, is that where we don't break as a community. Right, that's one thing. And as far as funds are concerned, the amount of equity which we have developed outside, which we are not cashing on, and others are cashing on, they have built temples based on the equity which we have developed, right? Like the Almar, the court. They make the temples with the equity which we developed in the community around, and we are not able to reach out to that community because now we are looking at our own operations. So, and there are donors who already have mentioned, give us some practical plans. We want to donate. We want to donate. Right. And those are numbers. And we say, yes, we'll come back with the plan. So we are comfortable that the funds will come when we put our plans together. So,
I think it's not so much just on Lakshmi Prabhu, but just when I see, I'm sorry, I don't mean offense to anybody.
Go ahead.
Gine Chune, there are just a few, like Jaiprakash Prabhu, and I've seen him over the years, for example. We all are getting old, Prabhu. What we did 20 years ago and today, 23 or whatever years later, body is only that much. All the same, enthusiasm may be there. वो गिने चुने जो बोलते हैं, there are fixed set of people, and that I'm seeing it as a limitation and wanting to like Simeshwar Prabhu is multitasking with so many things. You're to like non-stop. So, and I think what you were telling about this SSPT, that this thoughts triggered because we had this talk yesterday.
Yeah.
And how will we? But it all comes down to not just a core team, but even
expand more.
100, we should be 200 core team.
That's a very good point. So that's what if we focus on to means, like Jayaprakash Prabhu or Krishna Prabhu or Shimeshwar Prabhu, or many of you, means, are going out of means, so many ways. So we focus on creating more cloning of them, or means, cloning of them in the sense, means, we have to bring others also completely enthused. Whatever service, I'm ready. Whatever skill set you come forward with, means, and because then, just like Old Bridge, we were struggling 4 or 5 years, so not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Moment we saw this place, collectively everybody liked it. I remember that right at Jayaprakash Prabhu's place, we had a meeting, and in 2 weeks, 80% of the funds were collected. It's not the matter of, as you mentioned, funds, but it's the matter of, if we collectively have power to handle bigger things, Krishna will automatically provide. If you put systems in place and at the same time have power and have that vision to bring more and more people, just like a Sankirtan is a good way, it's reaching out to more and more people, Bhakti Viksha, this, that, bring out more people close to Krishna. And then, in the background, start from at least formulating this plan, elaborating on these plans. Our board meeting itself, when we went to our financial status, and to be completely transparent, we have close to 1.3 million. What was that? $1.3 million. In our bank at this moment, we have $1.3 million. So we said, okay, we are going to pay off the loan. No, we had not taken a loan to buy this place, but as part of the negotiation of buying this place, they had given us a bank loan to do the renovations at a bank rate, at a very less than 2% rate or something. So we had taken that. So that is somewhere around 400K or something left. And we want to pay that off. That will, after that also we will have enough to, if we go for this project collectively, we'll have that. And at the same time, coming back to your point, to focus on getting more people, where not 1, 2, 3, 4, same thread as you mentioned, but more and more people get involved. Like, you know about our second Sunday history itself. So many great cooks came out of the second Sunday cooking team.
Mm-hmm.
Now we had Nitya Naveen Mataji there, we had Meenakshi Mataji there. So similarly, why don't we build more teams of cooking, of this, of that? We'll get this thing done.
Yeah, cooking started with Gundi Chamata and Savita. And actually, who knew what Prabhu? No one cooked for 100, 200 people. And then suddenly
we are cooking for 3,000 people.
Yeah.
I remember at the Ukrainian church, we had this big pot and then stirring. So that's where it will come, where impossible is a word in that
Dictionary of Fools.
Dictionary of Fools. So there's nothing impossible. Where there is a way, there is a will. Or the other way around, where there is a will, there's a way. Yeah. So we just need to be determined that, okay, we'll unitedly we want to go forward. Fix the cracks around us, and unitedly we go forward and target different audiences. That was also one of our outreach benchmark, that we want to target different audiences. Just like Ramchandra Babu through Meetup is before their Sunday program from 4 to 5 through Meetup, they're announcing it, and they're having 4 or 5 Westerners. Target that. Now, one of us should take that seriously. That okay, from 4 to 5 on Sunday or some other day, I'll do this. And just now, target that. We need to bring diversified audience to attract them to Krishna consciousness. Now, right on my lane, there are 6 houses. I remember when we used to have festivals before, many devotees will park on my street. And one of our neighbor would complain, and cops will come and they'll give ticket to all those cars. For last 3 years, during Thanksgiving, Christmas, we give them this fruit basket. Nobody is complaining now. Right? So it's just about small things, public relations, where we go around. And all of us can do that. It does not have to, okay, when can we do, when can we not do? Public relations, we should all do. Captain Govinda Nandani Mataji is reaching out to prison. She's preaching to inmates in the prison house. She's chaplain at a hospital, and she's reaching out to hospices and this, that, and so many people are coming forward. She just sent a text, that one of the doctors, we want to help in different ways. And there are people there who will be ready. But we all have to take different, in that way, not wait that, we'll become perfect and then we'll preach. No, everybody, Paropakar, right? We get it, and at the same time we distribute it. And when we distribute it, people will come in different ways. When we go out for Sankirtan, I just went the last Sankirtan in this Apna Bazaar, and I could see, some people, so many people coming. Some people favorably will come forward to help. Or how can I join? Right. That's a old age, from our beginning of ISKCON, the formula. You go out on Sankirtan, you have that small invitation cards. A temple will be filled up pretty soon. But then in that filled up temple, if you have systematically different slots for different audiences, because in one slot, all audiences are not going to be attracted. Yeah, so different slots need to be there for different audiences. Good discussion. Anybody else has any thoughts? And then we are looking at all these congregation members who have moved out to different areas to extend our Krishna consciousness to other areas. We are looking at when they can come back. Janki Mata, you had a question? You were raising your hand or something? Or?
Yes, I had one comment on this subject was Few weeks ago, when we had our booster shot set up at the temple community hall, I came across a family. It was a couple, basically not a family. So there was a mention that that if ISKCON especially is into community building, as far as aside from ISKCON community, what are we as ISKCON community doing for uplifting our community at large? So how are our efforts indicating that effort, basically overall effort of uplifting outside of ISKCON community? So he had asked this question, saying that you guys do a lot of good things, but for community, are you doing anything? Are you doing anything realistically aside from what just ISKCON community building you're doing internally for people from ISKCON? Mm-hmm. So there was a question that came up like that, and so it was basically, I think, like, what are you doing for other people?
Yeah, good. So doing for other people, just Govindas by itself, during the pandemic time, would have distributed more than 10,000 plates of prasad. To essential services. Every week, midweek, in collaboration with this vegan organization, we will cook the prasad and he will take the prasad and distribute it to hospitals, and we have pictures of that. And they even appreciate the kind of efforts which we have done. I even received emails from somebody from the police force that, oh, we liked your food, oh, can you give us the recipe? Is that? So yes, that's something which we have done, and we can do more. But our biggest contribution to the community is distribution of books and education, which we can expand more. Distributing books to libraries, distributing books to motels. It does not have to be that a motel has to buy those books. Somebody could sponsor it and we can just put it.
Right.
In each and every room of the motel. So those are our strengths. And prasadam, books. Now this booster clinic, this that. There's a lot more into it where it can. Not everybody is going to be a happy camper, either in ISKCON or outside. Because there is not a lot more in the way this entire booster thing is mapping out. But yes, in general, we want to reach out our community in that way. But philosophically, we are about this roti kapda or makan. Right? We want to connect people back to their lost relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by awakening them, by chanting the holy name, or by distributing transcendental literature. Now, people in general would like to see what do we do about this roti kapda or makan.
Yeah.
Because that's what from their eyes, that's community service. I just got an email yesterday from Plainfield Township. We got the best award or something like that for a cultural place. So, but these are the places, many of us should, those who are good at, should reach out to In Bhagavad Gita, what Srila Prabhupada has given, this is unparalleled, but we can distribute it out to many others and give that knowledge to in different places for Diwali program. Like when you go to the township, they invite people from different faiths to come. But we know about Diwali much more than others. ISKCON should have a representation. So we should strengthen our public relationships department much more, where we can go out to all these areas. Where the township, the local township, or media. So that's why in the White House, they invite somebody or the other during Diwali time to chant some mantras. Why not the Hare Krishna mantra? Right.
So, if I may add to what you are saying, Prabhu, you gave a lot of good food for thought. So, I was thinking a couple of things that may help. One is that if we are able to somehow present this achievement in a very relatable way, so let's say public at large when they come for events at our center, so if we can somehow or the other, I know community hall area, we can have a presentation. Again, it is one way presentation, which is just like posters and showing a presentation of what we have achieved and accomplished in times of need, when actually ISKCON had done things that people don't even see or recognize. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Second is, if also, like we are saying, we have to increase the outreach and we have to go to these different medias and how we can build our community, by getting funds from everybody rather than just ISKCON people. Like it's everything voluntarily people are doing. We are not like literally forcing people. But I also heard another feedback. Again, this is something very personal that I have received as a feedback. But the feedback was like, you Hare Krishnas are like just chasing for money. You do this and that, which is good. But at the same time, somehow or the other, your communications is like very promotional. It's not philosophical what you do, but it's like, okay, we have this, you can sponsor this. You have this, we can sponsor this. So बाहर का जो आदमी रहता है ना, they see it at that way, Prabhu. Like how we do at the bidding, it's so transcendental for us, but बाहर का इंसान will take it completely in another direction, out of context.
No, I get it. Yeah. So that's where we have to find different ways.
The PR point that you brought was very, very helpful. I mean, we need, like Amritanand Prabhu also was saying, that we need some core team members who are dedicatedly looking into this for actually making things like a plan and, working on that plan and executing that plan.
Yeah. So it's a good point and good food for thought. And that's where we want to minimize, right? In past, at times we have done, but we want to kind of minimize as much as possible. Like what we see for God Punim, most of our Sundays we were, hardly asked for a color sponsor or something. So the sponsorship levels which we want to do is more on WhatsApp groups and just reaching out by mail out or something. and not on a program level, so to say, where an outsider comes and feels completely out of
Yeah,
whack.
because we have our own internal groups, right? So
Yeah.
we can reach that way. That is perfect channel for that, I feel.
Yeah.
And emails or phone calls, whatever.
Yeah.
And other thing came in my mind was, Prabhu, like how we do book distribution and food prasadam distribution. It's a very good way. Let's say if we find out spots where it is admissible, we do book distribution and food distribution at the same time to public at large. And so we are attracting that way more people that, hey, these people are giving free food, and it's good that we can give some donation to them, and let's see what these people do at their center. So we kind of want to build that curiosity. What are these people doing? Why are they so happy? What are they doing that is making them so happy? So philosophically, we can attract them for this section.
So one thing which is there, Mataji, so that from experience you would say, when it comes to food distribution, book distribution is fine. Food distribution in form of small packets is also fine.
Yeah.
But when it comes to meals, right, it needs to be at a very targeted audience.
Yeah.
If we do it open outside, just like how many people will know that first Rath Yatra we distributed close to 3,000 plus boxes of prasad.
More, Prabhu.
Yeah, our
It was 10, right?
Yeah.
Savita Mataji and other Matajis were cooking
As well as
overnight at
Angry.
Makati's temple. And in the morning, the prasadam was brought at Sublakshmi, and we were packing up the boxes and distributing the boxes. So we distributed in the first Rath Yatra, we distributed around
I think 10,000.
probably 4,000 boxes, I would say, right at Okti Road. Second year, the Indian Business Association, which organizes the Okti Road Rath Yatra, they stopped us from distributing the prasadam under the guise of that it is affecting the restaurants. They said, oh, people were throwing garbage everywhere and all those kind of things. But mostly, internally, we found out that it is in the guise of it is affecting the restaurant. Or it's unvestness. So that's where it's, ultimately we want to come to that strength that we ourselves could get the permit. So we don't need the Indian Business Association. We just and distribute the food from a park, or what we do in Atlantic City, distribute food there, right? Where we are not challenged by the local political dynamics. Right. So, but it's good. I mean, we should look at these different avenues. Yeah. Good.
That way we can bring bigger audience also. Again, I respect the target to do such an activity, Prabhu. That's an important feedback. We cannot just do it everywhere just because of this example you brought out. So yes, and the other thing, originally when I asked the question of Gaur Katha, that was intentional. That came in my mind only because I may not have a lot of idea because of my lack of poor fund of knowledge or understanding, Prabhu. But for events especially, I just was thinking, how would Prabhupada, let's say if Prabhupada was amongst us, he would definitely like for a bigger event like Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, he would like to always have a Gaur Katha as a significant section of that event, rather than missing that core piece of philosophy from the significance of that event. So for events, maybe we have to probably mindfully, consciously plan our schedule so that the essence is intact. And that was just my thought
it's
on
good
this.
thought, but what we have seen, Mataji, from our experience also, just like on a Janmashtami time, one time we had kept a lecture, Mahapad Maharaj was there. The amount of crowd which comes in and out, and which we are not able to control at that particular time. Oh, don't make noise, is that. The katha becomes like as if there's all these people coming in and out. So those who are sitting in the katha also, so katha has to be at a time where everybody is able to focus on. Otherwise, in and out crowd, where there are those who just want to come for either, just like yesterday, those who want to just come for Holi or when is Holi happening, when is colors happening, right? And many people called. If we would have kept it open for colors, we would have attracted another, we distributed 550 plates of prasad yesterday. Another 500,000 people would have come. Like the Dwakadish temple, when they do the colors, 7,000 people comes. Right. So numbers is not a thing, but at the same time, then it further dilution comes with the colors.
Yeah.
But there's a good thought about a controlled crowd, how we can emphasize more on the katha. Where with the bigger crowd, we have felt that drama or presentations or something like that, or a very powerful speaker who could just spellbound the audience would do wonders. But otherwise, we would be kind of firefighting. Oh, don't make noise. Oh, children, go out. There's no outside when there's winter. Right. So we would drive away people on the festival time.
Yeah.
But there's a practical consideration. During Srila Prabhupada's time, in a big pandal, Prabhupada would enthuse everybody in just by. And more than katha was just lecture on the basic 4 negative principles and chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now, if you'll see Prabhupada lectures, as far as deeper katha is concerned, you will not find many lectures with deeper katha. In a sense that deeper katha you would have done with the close-knit devotees, but just emphasizing this point of the basics of Krishna consciousness.
Even in our New York Rath Yatra, how many tens and thousands of people attend? And Jayadeva Swami has the question answer booth.
Yeah.
And that where it ends the Rath Yatra. Now, hardly a few people come there.
Yeah.
But most people are there in front of the stage where kirtan and dance programs or something else is going on. So and Maharaj is answering questions, not just Krishna conscious philosophy. Anybody can ask any question, and Maharaj is answering. So it's open for the public. So this point which Mataji raised is very important. But end of the day, what are we trying to do? I mean, this is my thoughts, Prabhu. What we are trying to do is bring people closer to Krishna. Now, there are some people who have some understanding of the philosophy and the basics, and they want to dwell deeper and deeper. So Katha becomes very relishable. And there is a great Katha speaker, In Hindi, he speaks Lalji.
Lal Gopal.
Huh? Ah.
Yeah.
So he holds the audience spellbound. Katha he speaks mainly with Krishna conscious philosophy. But when we have, whether it is festival or even a Sunday program classes, it has to be the same Prabhupada style. It has to be very, very simple, something which most of people would relate. And in these, through experience, we know Prabhu in festivals, all types of people will, out of 400 which came yesterday, a majority were the peripherals who came to the program. The core team was maybe 80 or 100 which were there. Now, core team will be spellbound with Katha, but for the rest, they would rather prefer a drama, and if not a drama, the physical activity of Kalash doing the Abhishek. That would have more significance. So, the same message, how we could get it out through different. Kalpa does only music. He goes to all these
Yoga centers.
Yoga centers and all the other places where he's going. He doesn't speak at all. It's just kirtan.
Yeah.
Is what. And how many people he attracts? How many? Just with kirtan.
Yeah, so,
So it is necessary katha. Maybe we can have for the closed group the katha, and then or Mataji's point, have a posters and dioramas and things like that.
Yeah.
That
And that's what in many of our festivals, especially on Janmashtami, we have done that, where even for Gaur Punim, in the prior years, in the community hall, we have kept a small japa. Even this yesterday, Taruni Nada Mataji, who is expert in that, she was doing that right at the reception, getting people to chant. Or Shurbi and Taruni Nada Mataji both has done that in the community hall. But all those who are, so we need more of those people where, okay, the Taruni Nada Mataji has to take care of the child and Shurbi is in India, somebody else is there to replace them and be effective like them, or get trained to be effective like them. Because we need, as mentioned, not only some, but many people want to reach out in different ways. Book distribution, like Nita Mataji is doing, others, Punit Prabhu, they're otherwise relatively new in Krishna consciousness, but they've taken active part. Or Janaki Mataji, as what you were doing during the clinic. Similarly, has to be more on an active peripheral, where okay, how do we enthuse people to bring them to Krishna consciousness in different ways, and then you can have different of these presentation, either the skits, like on Sunday there's going to be a drama, and the discourse. Or if we have a katha where Amarendra Prabhu does wonderful katha right on the basics in Krishna consciousness, going quite deep. Or Gauranga Prabhu, or so many of the devotees which we see when they come here. But locally also, we need to groom devotees to, ultimately, we have to focus. Now, initially, in our lecture group, we would have like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people giving lecture. Now, every day we are having this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. There are at least right? I have a roster of 10 plus devotees whom I am rotating. So that 10 plus devotees could become 20, 30, 40. Right? Everybody should come forward and they receive it and be ready to give it to others. Yeah, but good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Just wanted to share, like, I was at a wedding in Udaipur, and I was having my chanting bag in my hand always. So some people were making fun also. Oh, Hare Krishna, like this. But at least they were saying Hare Krishna. And in Sangeet time, they just announced like Dulhan's mouse's name, my name. So I sang our Kirtan, and everybody was like dancing, and they just enjoyed.
Cool.
And then next day, and I was not drinking tea, no garlic onion. So people were coming to me and asking, "Oh, you are from America. Why don't you eat? Why don't you drink tea and coffee?" Then I was just telling whatever I listened from our katha, from our class discussions. And then some people at the end of wedding, they were asking how to chant. And so many people, they asked me to write down the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I gave. So indirectly, it's helping community. People are thinking, oh, Hare Krishna, like this. But if we do our regular program, people just see by watching us, they get attracted. We got such a nice Srila Prabhupada's treasure, and we don't need to go and tell them, do this. The people who really care or who really want to do something, they come and ask. So indirectly, it's helping community. That's why it's spreading so much. I feel like that.
Yeah, that's Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. In whatever situation we are, we should be able to preach Krishna consciousness. Either by just seeing us, they may want to make fun, but they will be chanting Hare Krishna. Right.
Yeah. At least they were following what I was singing. They were following that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then started feeling aesthetic, like something is special. This is something different, not like these Bollywood songs and all that and dance. This is something different. So they really like it. And they say, oh, Dulhan ki mausi from America, but she doesn't eat this. First, they were making fun, but at the end of wedding, they were giving so much respect to me. And they said, oh, Miss, we should also not eat garlic onion. We should stop drinking tea like this. And a lot of people just, I was having some beads and bags, so I gave to them also. They said, we will also start chanting because you are so energetic. And they were just thinking, oh, something different is there than us. Even there, she is from America and she is doing something different from us. We are enjoying here. But when we chant, we are in that mood only. We are in like connected with the our like discussion, our groups like this. So they figure out something is special. And finally they got that and they just wanted to chant. And a lot of people started, my relatives, some relatives, they said, okay, we will stop eating meat also now. So means indirectly it's working. Like what is Srila Prabhupada gave us.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time. Like Sir Prabhupada mentioning, it's a matter of time. I can see temples, I can see people when time is separating. No, we are not at Sir Prabhupada's level, but if we'll follow this process, from the level where 94, 95 time frame, Amritanand Prabhu, where me going to Amritanand Prabhu's place, and it was me, Amritanand Prabhu, and Mataji. Right, 3 people. And then slowly, it grew to more and more and more, and so suddenly it will become more.
Yeah. Now
from one bhakti vriksha, more bhakti vriksha, 10 bhakti vrikshas. Right. So we just have to take that opportunity. And well,
Definitely.
Our movement is full Prasadam Prabhu. Now this is for Satyabhama Mata. You've gone for about 1-2 months. When you're coming back, we're planning a Marathi Prasadam.
yeah, oh,
Yes,
So
sure, Prabhuji.
you,
Madhupati Prabhuji is
Savita,
asking since
Govindanandani
long
Mataji,
time.
and the other Maharashtrian devotees will make a full Marathi.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
have
We'll
one
make
team.
vada,
We'll have
we'll make vada
theme-based.
pav, puran poli, like
Yeah,
this.
I was
Yeah,
thinking one
Madhupati
day we'll
Prabhuji
have
was
street
asking.
food, kathi roll, and that is
Yeah,
separate.
yeah.
But one day Marathi
Marathi
Prasadam, one
special.
day Bengali, one day Gujarati, one day Punjabi,
Definitely we'll make it,
Tamilian,
Prabhuji.
Malayali,
Yeah, and for
everybody.
Gaur Purnima, I met Puran Poli here. Like Madhupati Prabhuji was asking how was the Gaur Purnima here. I could not go to temple, but from my mind only, I was continuing because I was awake in the morning. That time, 7 o'clock, our program started, and then my Prabhuji also showed pictures of our deities. So physically, I was here, but virtually, mentally, I was in our temple only.
Yeah.
And I offered patra and some saag to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Puran Poli, Maharashtrian special. So we'll make Puran Poli also, Prabhuji, in our temple one day.
Jai, Hari Hari. It's time for
Doable,
dinner now.
Mataji, it's not difficult, doable. Jai Prakash Prabhu and Mataji made how many? 200 or 300 dosas.
Oh
Everyone
my
was saying,
God.
no, how will it happen? No, it can't happen. No, it is, dosa is not easy, this, that. Masala dosa.
Masala dosa. Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji, if we
Where
have
there is a
really
will,
desire from our heart,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
we can make it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
9 o'clock.
Thank you so
all.
much.
We'll take these points, discuss, and we'll invite you all in meetings where we can brainstorm further. And collectively, we all should also think about our weak points, our strong points, and boil our milk internally also to be stronger in sadhana, to go out to preach more. And it will automatically, more stronger will become, more people will be able to attract.
Yeah.
That will increase our outreach much more. And one must always be ready to come out of the comfort zone and serve. Yeah. Hari bolo. Mancha kalpatarubhayascha. Vaishnavinda ki jai. Narasimhan Bhagavatam ki jai.
Bhagavad-gita ki jai.
Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu. Thank you,
Hari.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.